Hello, everybody. Thank you for the introduction and thank you, AWE, for having us here. My name is Rosario, and I'm a proud Colombian and Latina-born founder. Today, I want to share with you part of my journey and one of the reasons why I want to invite you all to join forces. Since I was a child, I dreamed of being president of my country, Colombia, of building a better future for the people, for my people, in education, healthcare, infrastructure, and build a sustainable economy with a recognized global presence. After years of work in the government, building a network to fight anti-corruption, and after being chief of staff for a Colombian first lady, I realized the power of entrepreneurship in building and doing, the force of the private initiative to create value and to generate jobs. I studied and learned what was needed and jumped to start my career in the private sector. I also understood the importance of learning English, of course. Back in 2009, I founded my first company, Business Creative Partners, BCP, a consulting boutique specialized in Latin American investment. After some years, and because of a consulting commitment, in 2013, I ended up as the CEO of a big data and artificial intelligence company in Silicon Valley, generating actionable insights from the integration of disparate data sets. The possibility to capture, process, and visualize data to solve critical facts for different industries opened my eyes. At that moment, I realized the power of exponential technologies to scale solutions, and I started to train myself to understand the different opportunities, and of course, also train myself to be a developer. 3 years later, when my husband and I moved to New York City, I co-founded VR Americas, now XR Americas. Then I found the power of immersive technologies enriched with advanced analytics, what we call now the spatial computing industry. At the end of 2020, we received essential recognitions in the US market. We were living a pivotal moment, but at the same time, COVID-19 disrupted the world and gave us new questions and challenges. In the last 3 years, we had the honor to present at this event, and we approached our main concerns. In 2017, the training and education for business as a clear statement of the opportunity. In 2018, the importance of standalone alternatives in the enterprise, looking for ways to accelerate adoption of immersive technologies. Finally, in 2019, the importance of addressing the risk associated with cybersecurity and data protection. And this year, I want to talk about the importance of understanding what COVID-19 is unveiling and underlining the need for using these technologies to solve human problems. Technology must solve human problems, keep us healthy, keep the economy growing sustainably for everybody. Otherwise, we are missing something essential. We are wrong. The audience doesn't need me explaining why I'm convinced about the opportunities of spatial computing to tackle the key challenges of our planet, to explain why digital twins can be an opportunity to accelerate many of the solutions the world needs to find. And with COVID-19, the challenges became more visible. Our educational system is failing everywhere. The healthcare systems are confronting the most significant challenges ever. Occupational health and safety in the workplace is out of foundations for the current situation. The way companies are training, reskilling, and upskilling their employees are failing in the present case. I can keep naming the affected areas in the productive system and in our society. And the pandemic found this productive system far from an adequate preparation for the reality where digital adoption is not anymore an option, it's a must. Our industry, spatial computing and immersive technologies weren't ready to reach the market with an immediate solution. Bring plug-and-play solutions, have enough affordable headset, have global standards. And I am also concerned because, of course, we could be the solution to the majority of the previous challenges mentioned. In front of us, we have many opportunities, but I want to invite you to think around the following one, people. And in my case, I want to share with you the case of the Hispanic population and the Hispanic promise. I am sure these numbers can surprise many of you, but yes, the Hispanic population created 86% of all new jobs since the Great Recession. And Latinas, like me, created small businesses faster than any other group in the US. We are entrepreneurs. Hispanics are 60 million, representing 18% of the US population, with $1.5 billion US in purchasing power. And we, Latinos, generate $2.1 trillion US, representing 12% of the country's GDP. Standing alone, it is like we are the 8th largest economy in the world. Even better, our population is on average 6 years younger than any other demographics in the US. There is also the Latin American market to add. As the Latin American Venture Capital Association, LAVCA, just announced on its April report, launched a week ago, venture investment in Latin America has more than doubled by dollars every year since 2016, with a record of 1.08 billion for VC fundraising and 4.6 billion for VC investment. Players like Qualcomm, Microsoft, Google, Facebook, SoftBank, and Silicon Valley Bank are critical members at the Latin American Tech Growth Coalition. When we look at the production opportunity in these geographies, we can reach countries like Colombia, my home country. The last decade, Colombia invested resources in the training and upskilling of talent in technology and software development, being selected even as one of the World Economic Forum affiliate centers for the Fourth Industrial Revolution Network. We are on time to build together, to rebuild the economy and position our industry as the best alternative. I'm talking about all this group of people joining us today. Today, I want to invite you as the people building this vital industry forces and commit to the development of Hispanic talent within your own companies to help to integrate them into the recovery strategy, and last but not least, to incentive Hispanics in your organizations to be part of this strategy to make the Hispanic stars to shine. Here I am, proud and ready to co-create the future together. Thank you for your time. Now I'm happy to answer any question, and you can also connect with me through my social networks. And if you have any idea, or if you are a Hispanic star, just let me know. That way you can be part of this strategy. Thank you.
Hi, Rosario. How are you?
Hello. How are you? Great.
Nice to see you. Thank you for that. You touched on so many great points, but let's just maybe start with sort of a practical piece, because you ended there saying, if you are a Hispanic star, reach out. If you're a company, you need to be more inclusive, and you have great talent. What are some practical ways for you to help companies connect with great talent?
Well, yes, as I mentioned, this is not an XR Americas initiative, it's a need. As Hispanics, we need to gather, we need to unite, and we need to help this industry to grow. We have a lot of younger people. I saw many of the participants, the Hispanic talents that we have. Dario Laverde, I saw him in the talks, Kathy Hackle. We are many. but we need to open the doors for the younger ones who are coming behind us. How we can gather. I'm happy to be connected. I'm happy to help to connect. And of course, there is the Hispanic Star Alliance. Is an initiative that we, corporations and some younger companies like ours created because it is time to unite. We are a lot of people, a lot of talented people, and as younger as we are, we can help this industry to grow up.
So we're getting
Then my
some great
social
feedback.
networks, oh my, thank
Oh,
you.
good. And we're getting some really nice feedback, and you're getting lots of compliments in the chat. And if you have a question here, are there any Hispanic AR startups or artists that we can connect with, or you'd like to give a little airtime here?
Well, basically, what I want to propose is I will create a conversation in the platform because it's time to unite. And as we were talking the last opportunities about technical things as concerns, I think Ori Imber's words yesterday inspired all of us as an industry. Now it is time to start joining forces to make it bigger. We are just on time.
And you mentioned Dario Oliver. He's one of my colleagues, and of course Kathy Hackle. All people who I have tremendous respect for. I think we all do. So let's talk about we're all in our living rooms and homes, and changing the way we work and collaborate. I'd love to hear your opinion on when we go back to work and things normalize a little bit. How do you see now XR moving forward? It seems now there's been a lot more interest in general for some of the tools, especially collaboration, where we can do in virtual environments, like our last panel discussed. So how do you see sort of the new workflows using XR moving forward?
Well, I think many people is taking this time to learn more, to improve their skills, and this will be visible when we are all in the new normality. At the same time, I think the industries are understanding the point that we as a group, all the spatial computing XR industry, we're talking about the last years, and this is very useful. We can reduce the cost of many things. We can reduce all the accidents. We can improve the localization of or the interaction between teams in different geographies. And of course, the interesting thing, as reading in Irina's and Rob's book, Infinite Retina, spatial computing has a very big advantage, and is data-driven results. And when we are gathering the reality, the real world of the companies, plus the capacity of having near real-time analytics, we can improve a lot of industries. And this is what all this invitation from AWE is about. And now we need to talk about the people, and this is where we should be working now.
That's great. And so now, with the proliferation of these all of these different platforms, and we had Microsoft with AltSpace on just before us. How do you see some of the just social contracts and some of the privacy concerns, and just it's a new space that we have to navigate socially, even though it's often in a work environment. You're so outspoken on all these things. I'd love to hear your opinion on where that's going and some of the things that we can put in place to ensure that these are good experiences.
Well, for me, first, I really think one of the challenges is how is your new identity? Because when you are doing businesses in digital, you have a lot of tools that improve yourself, augment yourself as human. If you decide to be an avatar, you need to learn some skills, but also from the perspective of my data, who I am, from my personal information perspective, I really bet on the option of protecting privacy, but having the opportunity to improve having the data as an exchange tool. If I can obtain better quality of life, if I can improve my health, if I can be have certification of my previous training work and so forth and results. That will be my new exchange tool. And I really bet on that. I think there is a lot of smart people doing things on protection of the data and privacy, but the definition of privacy will be changed because of COVID-19 for sure. Now we understood that having the information, the right information, and creating the correct insights from there can save lives. Then how we are contributing to the world with our anonymized data in order to create standards, spaces, tools, medicines, etc. But in the same way, how the companies are ethic enough to protect my privacy and to use that to create the general result, but not. Let's see, for example, the alliance between Google and Apple. That's very interesting. In order to gather data from the users, but at the same time protect their privacy. I think we are starting to live in a new normality that could make a better world if we know how to contribute to it.
Yeah, I think you're right. And I think around that data question, I think, we're getting more savvy as well and, making demands on a lot of these companies to really start to protect that data. So I think this is an opportunity for us to sort of change that narrative. And you talked about the investment in Latin America, sort of doubling year over year. Is there VC money coming in aside from large companies now, building, headquarters and centers in Latin America? Do you find that VC dollars are kind of flowing in and that there's investment available now?
Yes, I think, well, of course, COVID-19 is challenging everybody, and we don't know the precise data in the last weeks or what will be that in the next month. But what's happening that is interesting is three things. One is, first, there's more foreign direct investment into Latin America, for sure. The second thing is more Latin American people is investing in Latin American companies also. But the third thing is that finally, in many cases, Hispanic entrepreneurs or Hispanic business people in the US are identifying themselves as Hispanics. They are not telling anymore their names as Pablo, but Paulo. Do you know what I mean? Or Maria, but Maria. And this is showing also them the opportunity to invest in their countries, to create global markets in terms of America. The complete America, and I think the three factors are increasing the investment into Latin America. A lot of companies owned by Hispanic people in the US are creating their subsidiaries and their teams, development teams in Latin America, and I think that's a big opportunity for both markets.
That's great. Thank you so much, Rosario. So nice to see you. Thank you for your talk. And we will be back with our next panel shortly.
Thank you. Have a good day.